Hey, welcome back to the Puzzle Run channel. Halloween is almost here, so I thought why not dedicate this video to a spooky theme. While Halloween isn't as popular here in Europe, I found a fun way to celebrate by putting together a couple of Halloween themed puzzles. I originally hoped to find some second-hand puzzles for this video, but after some searching I couldn't find anything that caught my eye. So I ended up buying two new ones from brands I have never tried before. Let's see how they stack up. Let's jump right into the first puzzle. It's a 1000 piece jigsaw called the Old Plymouth on Halloween by SunsOut, an American brand I hadn't heard of before. It's labeled as eco-friendly using soy-based ink and recycled board. You can definitely feel that the box is made from recycled materials. The puzzle itself is pretty large, measuring 26 by 26 inches or about 66 centimeters. With that in mind, I decided to start from the top and work my way down, since the top part of the image looks easier. Another thing I noticed right away is that the pieces have unique, irregular shapes. I'm used to working with standard cut pieces, so I am curious to see if this makes the assembly easier or more challenging. As I mentioned, I start with sky. The greenish sky pieces stood out nicely, making it an easy place to begin. The background is packed with details, which helps a lot. The sky is broken up into the different colored sections, with the street lanterns and even a skeleton that stood out right away. As it got darker in my room, I decided to call it a day. Here is my progress after day 1. On day 2, I focused on completing the skeletons. I gathered all the pieces and started to piece them together, though it wasn't as straightforward as I hoped. Once I had most of them done, I shifted my focus to the car, starting from the top since it's smaller and simpler to tackle. I wasn't ready to work on the front of the car yet. It seemed a bit tricky, so I moved on the candles in the background. The bright orange pieces were easy to distinguish from the pumpkin pieces, and bit by bit I got that part done. As it got late, I wrapped up by working on the car lights. On the third day, it felt like there wasn't much left to do. I tackled the front of the car next. Finding the pieces was quick, but connecting them took some time. Eventually, all that remained was the dark background, some dry grass, and spooky pumpkins. I worked on the edge pieces first, which made things easier. The final stretch was a bit tedious with all those dark pieces, but seeing the end inside kept me motivated and finished up pretty quickly. Honestly, I thought this puzzle would take much longer because of its dark image, which can often slow you down. A lot of people avoid puzzles with dark images, but I think a Halloween puzzle should be dark and eerie. I really enjoyed the oddly shaped pieces. When an entire puzzle has non-standard shapes, it can be tricky, but in this case it added some fun without being too challenging. Now onto the second puzzle, another 1000 piece challenge called Serene Village by Alipson, a French brand I have never tried before. The image isn't strictly Halloween themed, but the autumn night with a full moon gives that spooky, mysterious vibe. The artwork is beautiful, so let's dive in. Right away, I noticed that the puzzle feels high quality, even the box feels sturdy. The pieces have a nice finish, reminding of Ravensburger puzzles, maybe even a touch better. The pieces are cut in standard shapes, which I'm more familiar with. The puzzle is in portrait orientation, which means it's quite tall at 69 centimeters. I will have to reach far to work on the top part, so my plan is to complete the top section first and then forget about it. As I flipped through the pieces, I immediately separated out those with the moon and sky, as that's where I plan to start. was easy to assemble and I worked outward from there. The sky pieces weren't too tricky, but they also weren't super quick. I tried to place as many top section pieces as I could early on to avoiding reaching too far later. After that, I completed the frame, which should help with the detailed parts of the image. Whenever I found a piece, I could slot in right into the place. Next, I worked on the front building with its distinctive blue roof and walls. Piece by piece, it came together. Another standout detail was the windows with their warm, glowing lights. Whenever I found a window piece, I could quickly place it by referring to the image. At this point, I focused on detailed sections while avoiding the darker tree and bush pieces. Eventually, it got dark in my room, so I called it a day. The next day was similar, slow progress on fitting each piece where it belonged, but then I decided to tackle the trees, and surprisingly, they went together much faster than I expected. With the trees done, all that remained was the dark section of bushes. Before diving into that, I took a short break. After the break, I felt motivated to power through the last sections, and soon enough, the puzzle was complete. Honestly, I expected this one to be easier than the first, but it actually took me longer. Maybe I just wanted to savor every moment with this one. It was definitely a pleasant experience, and I was really impressed by the high quality of Alipson's pieces. I hope I get to do more puzzles from them in the future. And that's how I'm celebrating Halloween this year. Let me know in the comments how you like to celebrate the occasion. Do you enjoy doing Halloween themed puzzles? And before I go, I want to thank everyone for their support. We recently reached 1000 subscribers. With that, I will see you next time and happy puzzling!